engaging in bad behavior, not because they wanted to, because that was the only tool that they had, right?
They didn't know any different, right? That's all they got, and then you tend to fall back. If you don't know what to do, you're going to fall back on what you know, right? And so it's however they were brought up, however they were taught, however they were, constantly their behavior was consequated, whether it was, a reprimand, whatever it was, that's what people tend to fall back on, what they know. Well, and so if we're not teaching them any new skills and making sure those skills transfer, then you get what you get, right? And I think, school leaders, I think they have a tremendous job. I could not do that job. I'm just going to say it right now. They
need support.
I couldn't do it. They need a lot of support. And, yes, they need to be part of that coaching system and ensuring that, those skills are transferring. All those, great classroom management training skills that they learned need to transfer, but it's also a team effort. So they can't be the only one, but they definitely have to be the champion for those initiatives. Yeah. They have to be the one, like that trickle down. They have to be the ones to, say, yes, this is what we're doing. This is going, to help us. This is support for you teachers. This is, support for our students so that they can achieve. We have better behaved students, and our school runs more smoothly.
Well, I think that, now if we even zoom out further and come back to the sheriff making that statement, right?
Well, I like to live in that very, zoomed in space.
Well, right. Well, then now this becomes what they don't understand, because a lot of them, even the school resource officers, they're very well intended. Again, a lot of these guys are my friends, man. Been some great people. Yeah. But they end up getting called into situations that they shouldn't be. And they end up getting in trouble for it, right? Because they want to help. And let's say, behavior is off the chain at a school. There's fights going over, and they're like, oh, I need law enforcement. I need this and that. And of course, when they get in, we can't, they got to do what they got to do. Now, but the question is, why are all the fights going on? And because when there's not a system in place that prevents behavior, right? When the teachers don't have the knowledge and skills to do it, when the leadership doesn't have the knowledge and skills to support the teachers with it, right? And again, that system is like a living, breathing organism. Well, then it falls back onto the law enforcement, and they end up getting frustrated. They have a hammer. And here's a side effect of this that I've seen is that they might be present. This becomes actually dangerous, right? They might be present and they start saying, well, you need to do this and you need to do that. But because the student's not engaging in criminal behavior, that's all they got, right? And nobody else, we all have that. And so the law enforcement, they end up losing their instructional control, right? Kids stop following their direction and their stimulus control. In other words, their presence no longer has any meaning for those students. That becomes dangerous for everybody right now, and even in the community later on. And so I would say let's keep law enforcement involved in prevention stuff, right? Let's have them doing the stuff like if they have time to run a program there, and involving the kids that are the frequent flyers in something that's positive in nature. But don't call them until it's criminal behavior, and have systems that prevent it from going there, and make sure, like, even if it's a fight, make sure your people are trained in crisis management. Don't expect the cops to come and put their hands on them. Then when they end up arresting them, they end up on the front page of the paper. They don't want to be on the front page of the paper. That's all they know. They're not trained in this other stuff. So we got to be better in schools for them as well, because now I'm probably this cop's he's going to have some problems, man. He came out and said, some people are going to love it, that he said these things. And I'm not saying, again, and you're not saying that students should be punished. Let's make sure that we've got a well-balanced system in place, because if all we're doing is punishing, this is never going to work.